Hello again, you're watching Today with me, Dan Moyane, here on eNCA DSTV channel 43. Well, they say all roads lead to Nasrec this month, as the ruling party, the African National Congress, will be holding its 55th national conference, at which it is expected to elect new leaders as well. It's going to be taking place from the 16th of December. Now, the last few weeks have been quite a spectacle for the ANC as concerns and insecurities arose following President Ramaphosa's Phala farm theft saga. Now, the Deputy President, David Mabuza, has also been fingered lately in corrupt activities. ANC NEC member Dr. Gwen Ramokgopa joins me now to discuss all of this and the road to Nasrec. Good afternoon, Dr. Ramokgopa. Welcome to Today. Thanks for your time.
Good afternoon, Braden, and good afternoon to viewers.
How are things at the moment?
Well, I think things are challenging, and but we must remain hopeful. I'm also quite worried that the petrol price is going up
by 59 cents
by
tonight.
59 cents tonight.
But the diesel is coming down.
Cold comfort, diesel is coming down. Very cold comfort indeed, because the majority uses petrol. But we must also be encouraged that the unemployment levels are going down. So, yeah, a mixed bag. Yeah. But
you are the first NEC member I have an opportunity now to interview since the meeting where you had a very busy weekend because of the Phala farm report, extremely busy weekend. What was the mood like inside the room?
As you can imagine, very concerned, because the ANC has made a proposal to society that it's time for unity, it's time for renewal, it's time to ensure integrity, honesty, and we've been also waiting for the outcome of various plethora of investigations around Phala. So when the report came out, it was really a moment of trepidation as well. However, we had to listen to what people say, South Africans in general, experts, jurists, some of the jurists, the Judge Murphys, the Posas of the day, the
legal minds
of the day, including also our one and only Thuli Madonsela, and many others who read, analyzed, and guided society. So it was, but we remain confident that the course for zero tolerance to lawlessness, zero tolerance to corruption, and also holding accountable everyone amongst us, regardless of the positions they hold. We remain very encouraged that there is a firm commitment to that. But the message that's coming out is that let the processes be fair, and let the processes be rigorous as well.
Yeah, it seems like that's going to happen.
Yes.
I spoke to an analyst the other day who said one of the good things that's coming out of this mess of Phala is the fact that Parliament is going to be holding executive to account, but the president has taken it to the Constitutional Court. We'll have to wait for that review as well.
Yes.
However, it is concerning that this is happening, because this is the leader who came on the ticket of a new dawn, as you said, renewal. But now, allegedly, stashes and stashes of dollars are found hidden in couches in his farm in Phala. That cannot bode well for the image and the reputation, not just of the leader, but of yourself as the ANC.
Yeah. Maybe cold comfort is that it is not stolen money, especially stolen from the people of South Africa. I guess there is an explanation that still has to be tested. We don't want to preempt the outcome. It's a private matter. But what is important is that there must be accountability, there must be a reasonable explanation presented to society.
Yeah, because so far we haven't had it. I mean, I read the president's submissions to Parliament, your president. I mean, it's the story of the Sudanese businessman. Apparently, he exists, according to foreign media. They've spoken to. He came with the money cash. Whether or not he declared it as SARS, apparently at the airport he did. He apparently did. Yeah. But the point is, it just raises many questions that taint the image and the reputation of a leader, and you as leaders in the ANC who are now campaigning or driving this message of non-tolerance. You said zero tolerance to corruption, to fraud, to illegal activities. Clean governance is the way to go.
Yeah, we don't understand the circumstances. We don't know the circumstances. And he himself say he doesn't understand why, because they do have a safe. When they
but the money should go to the bank, not stay in the safe.
Well, I don't understand the business of selling animals. Whether you do EFTs or whatever, I don't understand.
Or you bring oodles of dollars in cash.
Or you bring cash on site. I don't know whether it's a culture in there and a practice. However, what I'm happy about and what we're happy about is that there is accountability. There has to be an explanation. And that, the president has decided also to take this matter on review. We will get the details.
And Parliament next week will discuss it.
Then Parliament will discuss it.
Have you encouraged him to come clean, or as we say in that old cliche, to take South Africa in his confidence, because he's the CEO of the country?
No, he has to take South Africa into confidence. At the last NEC, unfortunately, I missed the moment because I was busy with other issues. He did take the NEC into confidence. So I guess he has been taking the country into confidence at various moments. And whether he must, there's more to say than he has said. The jury's out.
Do you think, as a leader, that your party is more damaged today because of this and other issues? I mean, you have a suspended Secretary General, Ace Magashule, who's in court facing corruption charges over the asbestos matter in the Free State. You've got a former Minister of Mineral Resources, Mosebenzi Zwane, who's also been handed charges. He's facing serious charges over the Stina Dairy Farm issue in the Free State. And now, today, we are hearing that Outer is planning to lay charges with the NPA against the Deputy President of your party. You must be worried about the state of your leadership.
The main issue is whether we do have a policy of zero tolerance. Yes, we do. It is even in our constitution. And whether everybody subscribe to that policy, there are measures in place, and we are saying that any individual must face the might of the law where these matters arise, whether we are indeed facilitating, supporting, and ensuring that that happens. I think even at the highest decision-making body, the 54th conference, they said the Zondo Commission must be allowed to go ahead and we must cooperate with it, and which was done. So the party is on a path of renewal. We acknowledge that things may have gone wrong in the past, but we are also saying that we remain accountable, and individuals that brings the party into disrepute must actually face the consequences.
But Dr. Ramokgopa, I just wonder, when I looked at the branch's nominations of the 200 members of the new NEC that's going to be elected at Nasrec from the 16th, I just wonder, I mean, why would branches still have faith in somebody who had very serious public issues like Melusi Gigaba being right up there? Mduduzi Manana, he was even found guilty of assault, and then he had to resign as a deputy minister at the time. I mean, these are people, there are individuals on this list that have got question marks of behavior, and they face charges or allegations in the past. Why would the ANC membership still have trust in such individuals?
What is very clear is that all individuals, they market themselves, they lobby or whatever, or they are known. And maybe not everybody may know their backgrounds and all that, but we also depend on the Electoral Committee and the Integrity Committee to also guide the organization ethically as well. But it also shows that the renewal agenda should not only be of our organization, it must be a societal issue, so that broadly, even if there are new members coming in, it is new members that are conscientized on right and wrong, on ethical and also honesty issues and all that. It is a task that all of us face. I guess you also hear from churches and all that, all these allegations. I guess human beings are human beings, they are fallible. Yeah, but when wrong is done, the institution must be judged against whether it deals with it and it is tolerant of
but your institution, your organization, the ANC, historically has positioned itself as a leader of South African society, even during the anti-apartheid struggle, as that powerful voice and leader of the struggle. Today, it's been in power since 1994, one party all the time with majority, and 2024 is not far away. When you look at it today, can you honestly say, when you are looking in the mirror, you can honestly say you're proud of this organization today and you are confident that in 2024 people will still deposit their trust in it at the ballot box?
Yes, I trust that the people of South Africa will, yes, consider the historical mission of the ANC to serve the people of South Africa. They will also consider the wrongs that individuals did, and that has brought the organization into disrepute. They'll also consider whether the renewal agenda was indeed implemented with zero tolerance to malfeasance and irregularities and this wrongdoing, and held its members, regardless of rank, accountable for all these misdemeanors.
You should weed out the bad apples.
Indeed, we have to.
Do you think this conference will do that?
The conference, I'm really convinced that it will take the initiative and the commitment of the 54th conference to rooting out bad elements to the next level. If you look at what came from the 6th policy conference, there's a very clear directive there and direction that we need to tighten the policies to make sure that even the rules are applied consistently at all times.
Do you think the step-aside rule will be done away with?
Will be strengthened.
It should be strengthened?
Yes, because the concern that is raised is that it is not applied consistently. So we need to make sure that it is not only the guidelines from the NEC, but also the constitutional provisions that ensures that there is due process and that the commitment is indeed there. It's not only talk, but it's also implementation. Although it has been painful to have your own stepping aside, but it had to be done, and it was done.
And it's going to be strengthened.
It has to be strengthened.
What about gender parity? Are you disappointed that when you look at the top 6, there were 16 names, branches have nominated for the top 6 positions, and 2 women appear only for the DSG role, the Deputy Secretary General role. That's Phoebe Potgieter and Nomvula Mokonyane. Are you disappointed as a woman leader?
Yeah. It is a great concern, indeed, especially after the 6th policy conference also guided that there should also be parity amongst officials. But we're not giving up because...
why? Is there no unity with the Women's League? As you spoke about the other nominees of the NEC that you said they market themselves well, they lobby well. Is the Women's League failing to lobby the branches to say, here are the women leaders of the future?
It is not up to the Women's League alone. It is up to all members to ensure parity. And what happens when you consolidate is that maybe branches didn't have enough time to lobby amongst themselves. But now we have a delegation, delegates that have now been elected by their own branches, who will be convening as conference. And I am confident that conference will apply its mind to a few principles. First, the principles of continuity of the message of the 54th conference, radical socio-economic transformation, land issues, and also issues of corruption, intolerance to that. the issue of gender parity, the issue of generational mix, the issue of ensuring that there is also national representation of other nationalities, and maybe last and not least, and indeed not least important, the issue of big provinces being represented.
Okay. We are running out of time. We're actually at the end of our chat, and thank you for taking the time to come in. Last question. I need to ask you this, because branches, the ANC, you always say, I will stand if the branches asked me.
Yes.
Okay? I can't go and promote myself without the branches.
Yes.
That's process
how
of the
we've
ANC.
been cultured.
Hey,
Yeah.
Were you asked to stand?
I have been asked to stand.
For which position?
I have actually confirmed. Initially, the Women's League has nominated me for a TG position.
Treasurer General?
In its nomination. And I've noticed that there are about, my name is straddled through all portfolios except the president, from deputy president, national chair, SG, DSG, and treasurer. So it's straddled throughout. So that's a matter that the Women's League and branches will look at. Yes.
Yeah. Kgalema Motlanthe, the secretary of the Electoral Committee, when he briefed the media the other day, he said this list could change, the nominations, yes, because there's so much that's still happening. They are still doing some verification and a lot of vetting. On the floor, on the day, very briefly, if your name came up as being proposed for one of the top 6 roles, which is the TG, would you take it?
I have committed to the Women's League in particular, but even other branches, almost 600 branches that have nominated me for the top 6, although it didn't make the threshold. And also those branches, also amongst 600 or so that have nominated me for the, I think, top 30 or so. So I will certainly consider it to represent the voice of women.
That's not my question. Will you take it?
Yes.
Thank you.
Indeed.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Dr. Gwen Ramokgopa there, just sharing with us some of your views as the ANC is getting up for the 16th of December for its 55th National Conference, at which it will elect a new leadership of its National Executive Committee, including those who will be in the widely known top 6 positions, from the presidency to the Treasurer General to the Secretary General, the Deputy Secretary General, the Chairman, and so on. Thank you very much for your time. Now, let's